and welcome to DeView, the Digital View podcast for the week of Wednesday, February 22nd, 2012. I'm Curtis Paradis.
I'm Bret McPhee.
I'm Jordan Murdock.
And Gage Fletcher.
DeView is all about bringing you our view of the digital world around us, from music, movies, TV shows, video games, and gadgets. So this week we have some really cool things to jump right into. First thing, we're going to start with gadgets this week, and there's a big one. Number one, which is I found online, which was RIM changing their CEOs. They got rid of their old ones and brought in one new one. Just a kind of a funny thing to note. They had two CEOs before, unlike a normal company, which would have one. So now they just have one. And just sort of like hoping to bring back the company, obviously, since RIM hasn't been doing so well in the past couple of years.
So RIM's this BlackBerry, the company that makes
BlackBerry.
Blackberries.
Yes, Research in Motion, based out of Canada, so holla to Canada.
Holla.
But, yeah, they're the makers of the BlackBerry and, of course, the BlackBerry Playbook, which is their tablet. So your thoughts, opinions on the whole company as a whole?
It was funny, like we were talking before. I also had heard about BlackBerry on the news today randomly, about how they now have 15% of the tablet sales, I guess, and this is due to them changing the price of the tablet. They've significantly decreased the price. I think you can get one at starting at $200 for the 16 gig one.
That's pretty cheap.
I may have to go for that now, actually.
That's what I was kind of thinking
Watch
too.
out.
But yeah, I just don't. I've never really had much experience with the BlackBerry tablet. What do they even call it? Is it?
It's
the
it's called
Playbook.
it's called the BlackBerry
Playbook.
Playbook.
Yeah, that's right.
It's 7 inches, whereas like the iPad's 9.
Yeah.
So it is going to be considerably smaller. It obviously doesn't have as many apps as the iPad does or anything else.
I have
but
messed around with it, though. You can go on nyan.cat, which is pretty awesome.
well,
That's
that's right.
always
It
crucial.
does have Flash built into it, so anything that has obviously Flash-based websites, you can load that, which is kind of a nice thing. I don't know. I'm not a Flash lover, so I kind of want to get away from it. But
Yeah.
if you do like that, it is available. Otherwise, I'm not really sure. I haven't played around with it a lot, so I don't really know.
I'd like to try one out just to see if it's actually good, because if it's reasonably good quality, I mean, I wouldn't mind buying one. $200.
$200, yeah, considerably. Obviously the iPad runs about $5 for their cheapest model, which is 16.
Yeah.
So that's considerably cheaper. And
I think you can also sync up your BlackBerry Messenger and whatnot with it too.
Yeah,
so
it works. Yeah, they have I don't know if it's BlackBerry Bridge or something, but yeah, you connect it to your BlackBerry and you can get all of your text messages or emails or whatever else, and they sync back and forth, which is kind of a cool idea.
I think if BlackBerry wants to stay alive in this Apple world, I think they're going to have to do more stuff like that.
Yeah, that's that's almost key nowadays. Just because I guess Apple's one of the top competitors, and that's what they do. So
Apple and Google, yeah. Well, it's kind of a crucial thing now, especially with Google. Like we all use Google Docs on here on the podcast, and it's the ability for everyone to have everything synced, right? I can log in on my iPad or on my MacBook or on one of the other computers, and it's all synced up. And I think that's a big thing. So if BlackBerry can do it, then it's kind of like an incentive, right? Like I have a BlackBerry, and it's like, well, maybe I should get their tablet because everything syncs instead of getting an iPad where it's like they don't sync together, they don't talk. So
absolutely,
it's a big incentive to buy the two of them, and considerably thinking into the future of RIM's really got to think about staying alive because they are not doing too well.
Yeah.
That, or they can take back their business market that they had a monopoly on before.
The smartphone, but where are they going to bring it from? That's the only problem.
Yeah.
They invented the smartphone. Let's put that out there. They had the smartphone, and then Apple came along with this new thing, right? It was so much easier to use, so much more beautiful, and then it was like, oh, yeah, users are going to probably like that, right? So, what are they going to do? They've tried a touch-based BlackBerry before, like the Storm, and I have never heard a user who liked the Storm.
I hear a lot of negative things about the BlackBerries. I'm not too sure. Maybe that's part of their problem. They don't.
Jordan, I think you're the only BlackBerry owner here. What are your thoughts?
Defend yourself.
Yeah.
I want an iPhone. I'll say that.
You want one of these things.
I want one of those things.
You want one of these things.
But I just don't have the cash right now, and I'm kind of tied into a contract.
Right.
But I think.
But so when your contract's up, are you planning on switching, or are you going to stay?
I think if BlackBerry can update their OS and update their phone performance in a way that it surpasses an iPhone for myself, then I think I might stay. But if they don't do that by the time my contract's up, then I'm going iPhone.
You're jumping ship.
How do you feel about BlackBerry as an affordable alternative for the time being?
That's what I think. That's the market they should go for.
They should
almost.
go for
How
that.
much are their phones? Like, are they actually affordable? Because like you can get an iPhone for like $200, right, on a 3-year contract. So how much is a BlackBerry on a 2-year contract?
If you go for the one I have, free.
Oh, okay. So then it is considerably.
And that
more.
seems to be working for the tablet too. Like I said, they
Yeah, that's
decreased
true.
the price, and now apparently they went from 5% of the tablet market to 15%. What are the other competitors in the tablet market? I really don't know.
Obviously, there's Apple has the iPad.
Apple and BlackBerry.
Google
got the thing.
has like they
They're
have
Android devices.
Yeah,
right?
they have a line of
yes,
them. Like
yes.
Google doesn't make them themselves. They're kind of like Microsoft. They get other people to make them. They just
Yeah.
sell the
Right.
software. But yeah, they have a lot of Android tablets. They're fairly nice. I've played around with them, and I'm not gonna lie, like they are. I would get one of those if I didn't get like an iPad.
You
'cause
can
they-
get Angry Birds for free, which is
you
very
can.
nice.
Ooh, I'm in.
and then there was like towards the end of last year, there was actually something called the HP Touchpad. And I actually I bought one of them. I'm not gonna lie, I have another one because it went on a fire sale for $99. Like they were originally $500. So like I was like run down to like your local retailer and I picked it up. But it was a really nice tablet. Like it's fairly fat. Like it's a big thick tablet, but it works really well.
How
And,
long has that been out? That HP.
it
What
was
was it
out-
called? HP.
Touchpad.
Touchpad.
It was out for like a year, and then they just killed the product, and they just wanted to sell all the stock.
Was it before the Apple?
It came
iPad?
around in the midst of like the first generation, right?
Oh,
like
okay.
I'd say like 3 or 4 months into it.
Yeah.
They came out. It was the exact same like screen size and resolution, and it had a really nice operating system on it, but I don't know, it just didn't get to go, so it kind of died off. So right now, yeah, it's BlackBerry, Google, and Apple that own like the tablet space. Also, Windows 7 is trying to do tablets, but that's like the full computer on a tablet, whereas like a tablet we think of, I think, is like kind of like a mobile device that can kind of do some computer things.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's an interesting proposition to see, where they will go.
Do you have any
the
idea
future.
what like percent of the market they have? Apple.
They have
They'd probably have a lot.
like 80 something like that. Like
Yeah.
like I don't know, anyone you see who has a tablet, like I always see them with an iPad more than I see like a Google device.
Oh, yeah,
I've
that's-
seen 1 or 2 Google devices out in the wild. I've never seen a BlackBerry Playbook.
My brothers
and-
have 2 Android tablets.
Do they? Do they
I'm-
like them?
They do.
They do.
They-
Do they have an Android phone too? Or-
They don't.
They have
One has a
Blackberries?
BlackBerry, one has an iPhone.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Mixing it up.
It's interesting.
No doubt. Well, we move on from gadgets because we spent a long time on that into movies. Kind of a cool week in movies. I went and partook in the viewing of Chronicle. I think we talked about this last week, and I personally really liked it. I thought it was a really good movie. No, has anyone else seen it?
I
haven't
wanted-
seen
I
it
wanna
yet.
see it.
Seen
Yeah.
it? I would really recommend it without giving any spoilers away. It's a really interesting movie. It's very first-person, like video camera-y, I think is what the word is. So like it's someone holding
It's not
the
the
camera.
technical term, but
No,
you know.
it's not the technical term. I don't know what it is.
It works.
It's like someone's holding it, right, or it's all throughout and it's cut that way. It's really interesting, and the movie is about basically people getting like telekinetic powers so they can move stuff, right? And throughout the movie, and I'm trying not to give this away, they figure out another camera angle that they can use due to those powers, and it really sort of broadens what you can do, and it looks really cool. So,
So they hold the camera with their powers? No,
basically.
maybe?
Well, it's a really cool idea. Like they have like here's one shot that I'll give away. Basically, is like he's holding onto the camera, and then he just kind of lets go, and it just like floats off, and he's just laying in bed, and it just floats up, and then he closes his eyes, and it just like crashes down to the ground. So it's kind of like a cool way to think of it's like he's controlling it with his mind. But
Yeah.
it's really interesting, really good movie, and kind of a twist at the end that I didn't really see coming. But I would definitely recommend anyone.
Is
go
the
check it
whole
out.
movie like from that point of view?
Yeah, it's all
like
from
it
like
never changes camera.
It's all from like one kid's camera too. So
So like while the plot's developing, he's holding the camera with his powers.
yeah, he's always holding it. Like
He's always concerned about the shot he's getting.
yeah. It's very interesting.
I don't know how he'd get those shots too. You kind of
Actually,
want
wait,
like
I
a
think-
monitor or something.
I think at the very end, they cut to like television cameras. I don't think it's anymore. It's like his camera, but
okay.
throughout the rest of the movie, it's all him. So yeah, it's a really interesting movie, and I'd recommend it for anyone.
What is the whole plot line there? Is it just
Well, basically, they're like three guys. Like basically, they're just in high school. They like find this thing, and then it gives them this power, and then it's basically just an evolution. It's like what would happen if you had this power, and it's like, are you going to do good? Are you going to do evil? And blah,
It's an
blah, blah.
interesting take on the
It
whole
is. It's
power
a really.
thing.
it's not like a definitive. It's like we're gonna be good or we're gonna be evil. It's like what would really happen, right? Like it's very interesting. Anyway, let's move on to the next movie. I didn't add this one, but Jordan, I think you did.
These are just like the theater releases for this week, but I think this one's kind of notable. It's called Act of Valor, and it's shot on a Canon 5D Mark II DSLR.
So the whole thing
pretty
is
cool.
That's
that is really cool.
I believe like 85% of it was shot DSLR. So like
right.
Like,
well, I assume they had a rig. They probably did, like
yeah, they'd have a rig and like they'd have
like
all that stuff. It's just kind of interesting to see that filmmaking is going this way, where there have a lot of people are moving towards like the cheaper DSLRs to get that filmic image. It's just
that'll be
crazy.
That'll be interesting. I'd like to see just for the fact of like seeing how it really comes out, right? Like what does it look like? Does it look close to film, or is it got like its own? Because
from the previews, it looks pretty crazy.
Does it? I didn't see the previews for this one. I didn't check it out. So
I didn't actually know it was from the Canon 5D. That's really impressive.
And if like the tech issues don't sell you on watching the movie, it's actually shot with like real Navy SEALs.
They said that in the commercial. Do you know if it's like the actors that are the real Navy SEAls, or it's just
those are the real Navy SEAls?
So like, are they real like still in combat, or they're out of combat?
That I don't know exactly.
Because it's like, are they just like you were a Navy SEAL, you should come and like do this film with us, or you're a Navy SEAL, like we're gonna come and do a film with you?
Yeah.
Like there's like two different sort of aspects there.
I'll have to double check. I think it's a fictional story.
Oh, okay.
But it is real Navy SEALs acting, so like everything that like all the maneuvers you'll see them doing will be authentic, which is kind of interesting.
That's really cool. And this comes out this weekend? This Friday?
Yeah, I believe it's Friday.
Cool.
Do you think, like, are the people, the Navy SEALs, are they the ones who caught Osama bin Laden?
That's a good
Or was it some special ops
I thought it was
thing?
like a special ops group.
I wonder if this movie was compelled to be made because of that situation.
If it wasn't, then there's definitely got to be one in the makes.
Yeah.
Like,
there's no way that the movie industry will let that go unexploited, you know?
I think that's partly where this movie comes from, I think.
Is it? Okay.
That's what I kind of got from
like
the preview.
Another story into it? Like, is it about them going to do that, or is it kind of like a...
That?
I
just don't know.
Well, maybe we'll have to go and check that movie out then.
Might have to.
Act of Valor.
So the next movie is Gone. I have no idea about it. Gone.
I have never heard of this one.
Never
Who
heard?
put this one on?
Well, I just put it on there, you know.
Oh, okay.
These are movies that are out this week if you want to see it.
We definitely did our research on this.
Gone is gone off
Gone
this list.
is we're gonna just make it go Gone. So anyway, Gone coming out this Friday. You can go check it out. We have no idea what it's about. Do we know what Wanderlust is about?
Yeah, I've seen advertisements for that
good.
one. That's another Jennifer Aniston kind of romantic comedy that's sticking to the same trend that she's kind of followed for.
I liked her in Horrible Bosses, though. That was definitely
that's a funny movie in general.
I think every guy liked her in Horrible Bosses.
I think it's kind of a sexy role for her in this one too. Is a couple kind of from the previews and that, anyways, looked like she was stepping out of character from her kind of good girl image a little bit. So it's got Paul Rudd in it too from I Love You, Man. He's always pretty funny, I find, but. Yeah, it's kind of sticking to that same kind of romantic comedy formula, I guess. But I thought it looked pretty all right from what I'd seen.
I have to go and check it out. I like her movies. She does usually a pretty good job. So, I don't know. Can't complain.
Yeah, can't complain.
Yeah. And last but not least, Tyler Perry's Good Deed. I seriously have not heard that this one even was coming out.
I don't really
Tyler
like
Perry.
any of Tyler Perry's
No,
stuff.
not a big fan.
So, did anyone else watch? What was his last movie? It was like the one where he dressed up, and it was like.
Is it Medea Goes to Jail or something?
Something like I never seen it.
His shows are so bad.
Are they?
I wonder who's financing his projects all the time. Like he comes up with more and more stuff, but I don't really know anyone who watches it. You know, like, TBS is just littered with Tyler Perry shows.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, someone's gotta love him, I guess.
Yeah, someone is watching.
We're just not into that.
I like the sounds of some of these rumored movies that we got.
Yeah, let's jump into those.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They need to. If they're going to take another stab at it, they need to do a good job this time.
When was the last one?
It was a couple years ago. It was probably
10, 9?
Yeah. I'd say like 4 or 5 maybe.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
There was a more recent one. It was animated. It was 3D, and it was terrible. It was,
no.
It was a snooze fest.
That's
It
true.
doesn't do the series
So,
justice.
yeah,
I
so-
grew up
No.
with the series.
Do we
It
know
was-
what like the new one will be like? Is it going to be?
I don't know.
They should go back to the
costumes. Absolutely.
I love that.
Absolutely. I think so too. That'd be a nice little step back.
They probably look at it though, and they're just like, well, we could do better with just animation, and then
a lot cheaper.
I think that's
Yeah.
actually what they're doing this time. I think they're actually trying to go with like the CG turtle models or
Right.
something with real life.
Could
See,
they-
I think
just,
that
like,
could be cool.
motion tracking it, or what would they like?
It's probably motion tracking.
You would think, like,
I'd
have like
assume.
actors like doing their thing with like the little like ball.
Maybe
thing.
it'll win some Oscars like that guy from Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Hey, that was a good
Did
movie.
he win?
I don't know if I never followed up on that.
No,
I just think I thought it was like I could care less about
Grammys, the
award shows, you know.
Oscars.
Like, I think it's interesting when something new like that comes
there a
up and
video
is
game award
recognized in a
show?
more
There's
mainstream
tons
way.
of video game award shows. Some of them are crap.
Oh, that's depressing.
They have the VGAs or something on Spike. That's the
Yeah.
only one I
Oh,
can think
I
of.
don't get Spike.
Nickelodeon's got one too.
Nickelodeon?
Sure.
That's
Spike
awesome.
is pretty crappy though.
Is
Well,
it?
Yeah.
in my opinion. Sorry.
In
for
your
anybody who
opinion,
like-
some of us like Spike.
I'm
No, I'm
sorry.
kidding.
If,
I don't.
sorry if I offend anybody that likes. Spike.
Right here.
I have something.
Right here.
I actually have something on the topic of Spike, just kind of random and relevant in the world of UFC. I don't know how much you guys want to talk about this, but it's just a quick thing. I don't watch Spike anymore because they don't have UFC. UFC's now
Oh.
on Fox, so all
You're
the way
off
with
into
Fox.
Fox world?
Yeah,
Nice.
never watch Spike. There's
UFC
nothing
just
good on
started
their channel
making
for
too
me.
much money for Spike, you know, to have the rights.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They're just like, we want more. Okay, next one, Ghostbusters 3. I
wonder-
really don't want to see this.
As long as it's
Bill Murray. If Bill Murray is in it,
Well, he's
I'm
got to
down.
be in it. Otherwise, like, how can you call it Ghostbusters like 3? It's like,
I think the
like, where's
only
Bill Murray?
one in contention or whatever, not sure if he's going right now, is you know what? I think it's actually Bill Murray who's
Is it?
who might not be there.
are you serious? He's not going to
Oh,
be
he
no.
there.
might be not the one who's not going
Oh.
to be there.
Yeah.
Aw.
Well, then what's the
Terrible.
I was getting
point?
excited. I thought he was the only one who was going to be there. I was like, I don't care about Dan Aykroyd and the rest. You know,
No,
it's going to be
not
Bill
a Dan
Murray.
Aykroyd fan.
Well, I did like him, but you know,
I think
As long as
yeah,
the
he's
CG
still not. He's not currently still funny. Whereas I still find Bill Murray to be funny.
Yeah.
So.
right.
As long as the CG is better in this one than like the first one.
Oh, the first one was like
Oh,
what
man.
shot in the 80s or something.
Still, I watch it. I'm just like, this is just really bad. Even for
It's-
the 80s, I'm just like, no. Like,
I kind of
Okay,
like.
but
I
did you
kind of like the
find-
corniness
I guess.
to the
Yeah.
special effects of the '80s movies and that. Like watching the old Superman movies or something
that's
like
true,
right
I
around
guess.
that Ghostbusters time. It's hilarious now. It's just like this is.
they're
this
like,
is
this was
awful.
amazing, and we're just
But
like,
people at the
oh,
time
that's
were
horrible.
impressed, you know. Like at the time, that was
That's
state
true.
of the art, and there's like, whoa, and now we're just laugh at it.
It's
you
cool.
know?
It's cool when you have a movie that's actually timeless, though. You know, like you can watch it again, and it still seems like it hasn't really like lost its
Yeah.
touch,
Right.
like Star Wars, which we always talk about.
Star
That's because I
Wars.
love
Hey,
it so
did you see
much.
the new one yet?
No,
Oh.
I don't know. Like I just can't decide if I want to go see it or not. Like
I think we're
I
all,
could watch it at home, you know, just not 3D, and I could deal with that.
we're
You're
all
not going to
so
be standing
busy
in
too.
line.
Yeah, it's hard to find time for movie night.
It is. Movie night takes a while to like plan
Indeed.
stuff.
What is this one? Warm Bodies.
Oh,
Zombie
Warm
romance.
Bodies! Come on, it's the Twilight of zombies.
Okay, I like the sounds of that. If it gets rid of Twilight, I'm in.
No,
I'll
no,
go
no,
watch
no, no,
Warm
no, no.
Bodies.
You don't
No.
want this to happen.
It's
I don't want
it's
to?
the Twilight
So it'll
of
be like
zombies.
They're
Well,
going to make a romantic
Zombie movie.
honestly,
zombie movie.
still, I would rather this than Twilight.
No, because then you'll
No.
have like the Edward Cullens versus like whatever the main character is that's like heartthrob in this other movie.
Well, I almost feel like I could almost like watch this, you know, like if it's zombies,
That's
if they're
what you-
eating, like if the zombies are kissing and stuff and like in love with each other, that's
no,
not
they're
zombies.
No.
There will be like the human like girl that falls in love with the zombie boy, and the zombie boy will have a whole
That's-
zombie family.
Is that actually
and-
what the plot is supposed
No,
to
I'm
be?
I'm just adding Twilight and switching
Okay.
vampire for zombie, and I'm probably going to be about 95%.
pretty close. Pretty
I
close.
hope that
yeah.
this movie is actually just the Thriller video on loop for an hour and a half. That's what people are
I'm in.
paying to see. It's like, you know what? You were foolish enough to come watch this zombie romance. This is what we're giving you. Thriller on loop.
I think that'd be worth my money more than
Although-
whatever they probably really
Yeah.
give us.
Hey, yeah, that'd be good. I could go for an hour of just MJ's
Speaking
music
of
video.
timeless videos, Thriller, yeah, that's a perfect one.
Yeah, that is
That's
it's
good.
one of the best music videos ever, and most expensive too.
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess.
It's crazy.
So, should we jump ship, or do we talk
Jump
about the
ship.
last one? We jump ship?
Transformers 4.
Okay, we talk about it. Michael Bay, is he still directing it?
Yeah, he's on
Shia
call for
LaBeouf?
this one.
Shia is
I believe
gone?
so.
Oh, he's back?
I
Okay.
think he is.
It'd be nice. I think I prefer it with Shia.
Fox,
yeah, is Megan Fox coming back? Because I didn't like the new chick.
Megan Fox wasn't in the new one. If you don't know that,
I didn't like the new chick. I was like,
she was pretty like boring to watch. Yeah.
I just thought, like, where's Megan?
Anything else other than Megan Fox is pretty boring to watch. Let's be fair.
Yeah, they've set the bar up
like
really high.
Tough shoes to fill, eh? Or
Maybe Jennifer Aniston.
You know how hilarious that would be just to have like, there's this big robot fight. All of a sudden, Jennifer Aniston comes like running out, and she's like, ah! It's like, what are you doing in this movie? Anyway. Let's move into video games, because supposedly last time we got a lot of heck because we didn't talk about video games. So, Mass Effect 3 DLC, which is downloadable content. I learned that because of this podcast. I can't speak yet. Right. And supposedly it was leaked on Xbox 360. You're the Xbox 360 guy, so I'm just going to point you.
It was leaked, I think, today.
Today?
And the game's not even out yet. Like, this is downloadable content.
Wait, so what do you do with this downloadable content if you don't have the game for it to go into?
Well, it's supposed to be an add-on, so like all this content was released, but it's not playable. But apparently,
so you can you see it?
You can.
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense. You can buy it and download it, I think, but all you get is like the banner and like the secret character that like is supposed to be in this content, and it's just.
And your excitement level at an all-time high.
Yeah, that's the thing, right?
I'd like to get my hands on the game early, but you know, like I just can't. I can't.
We'll get a hookup. Way to do it. Who creates Mass Effect?
BioWare Canada.
So BioWare, you're in Canada. We're in Canada. Hookup. Come on.
I'll give it a good review. I promise.
Yeah, we'll all give it a good review. I like playing video games. I'm really bad at them.
What else to play?
Yes. Alan Wake, American Nightmare.
This is another Xbox 360 downloadable content.
More DLC?
But this is an actual full game, kind of a sequel to...
Wait. I thought it was a DLC.
It's a DLC, but it's a full sequel to a full retail release game, which is interesting.
So wait, it's not available in like disc?
No.
Oh.
I never liked the idea of that. I always want a physical copy. If I'm spending, like, how much you're gonna pay for?
Yeah,
this,
how much is this
DLC? Version
this,
of Alan.
Like $60? Is that what like a normal?
No, this is probably somewhere along the lines of.
Don't say higher, because I'm gonna freak out.
20 or 40.
Okay, good.
Maybe.
It's lower.
20 or 40.
Like what?
How long do you think it is before they get completely away from the discs as far as video games are concerned?
I think that's coming real soon.
With the PS Vita or whatever.
Well, yeah, we've talked about it in like other podcasts too, and I think like the Vita is like your first sign, right? It doesn't have
also
discs.
coming out today.
Is it released today?
Right. Okay.
Go and pick up your Vita. Xbox 720, which we're not going to talk about today, I don't think, but I think it's probably going to have a pretty big downloaded sector for it, and whatever the next PlayStation is.
There's like a lot of downloadable content for like PlayStation 3 and Xbox right now. Personally, I like having hard copies of my games because I don't like the idea of having to. Say my hard drive crashes or whatever, and I have to re-download all my stuff.
We all know how prone to crashing a hard drive is.
You don't
too,
like
you know?
like what if you had to like is it the re-downloading or is it the repurchasing and re-downloading?
It's the re-downloading. I hate
you just don't like re-downloading it.
I hate
because I was going to say, well, what if they just like track that in the cloud, right? And then they're just like, oh, you already paid for this game. Here's your
I think they do that right now.
Yeah, probably.
Like
you just don't like downloading it again.
I hate it because like sometimes like when I go back
I don't think
home,
there's any way to get around that without like a disc. There's
like when I go home, I have no connection to internet, and I can't download my content.
Solution: there's like a little 3G. You can get 3G on your Xbox 720.
Those little flash sticks.
Yeah,
I don't even know if they work. You know, well for an Xbox.
Oh yeah,
they'll work. They'll work.
No,
for
no,
a
no. I
computer.
mean, like on the 720, it's like built into the thing. It's like you have a 3G connection, so you can game while you're in the car.
But you can't game if you're in the car because you don't have the car adapter or the car TV.
Oh right. Well, they don't have to worry about that. That's another problem.
Anyway, that's someone else's problem.
Yeah, that's it. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think it's interesting, just like with all the changes in that, and you kind of have to. These companies kind of have to like be ahead of the game. You know, like they have to foresee the market coming. Like I was watching just a thing the other day on Kodak, and just how Kodak actually had the first digital camera developed, but just never thought digital photography was going to take off the way it did.
Capitalized
and
on
Kodak basically, like, that move killed them. Like now they just waited too long to make that change, and now they're really struggling.
The one thing that I've seen for them, like I've seen some and read some stuff on them, is like Kodak makes film, right? they made a lot of money on developing film. Digital photography is anti-film.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
So like
That's exactly
Kodak built it, right? Like, but it's like, wow,
Like they would have had to like come out with like a game changer like every year just to keep their sales
or there's got to be like
probably.
some way that it's only Kodak can do digital, and it's like, how do you control that, right? Because once it's all circuitry and stuff, it's anyone can do it. You just have to recreate it. So I think that's where Kodak had like that issue. But yeah, like it's amazing they had like that so far in advance, but they didn't do anything with it. And same with like with Microsoft and the Xbox and stuff. And same with the PlayStation. You got to think ahead, because like how old's the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3? Like they're at least 4 or 5 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
both
probably
Like, and
around
they're
there,
still,
maybe even a
now,
bit
mind
longer.
you, like the Xbox and PlayStation have evolved a little bit over time, but they're still relatively the same devices, I believe. So,
And it's all about timing too. Like I remember Sega released the system Dreamcast kind of just at an inopportune time as far as competition with the other gaming systems went. And I mean, like maybe it would have sold a lot better had it come out in a relevant time span, or you know, maybe BlackBerry would be a lot better if they had maybe finished their product a little more before releasing it, you know, because they kind of came out, well, BlackBerries, well, why would anyone get a BlackBerry after iPhone came out?
With the
you know?
Dreamcast, it's like kind of like the same thing with the BlackBerry too, because it was really expensive at the time, and that's why a lot of people didn't get it. Like, I never had an opportunity to play it because none of my friends had it, because none of their parents wanted to buy it for them. You
how
know,
much
like
did it retail for when it came out?
I can't remember. It was
It was
far more than
$500,
yeah, it was,
$600.
it was
Wow,
quite
that's
a
a
bit.
pretty expensive box.
It
How
was-
much was the
It was a
Xbox?
disc, and it was better than like N64 and PlayStation, or so I heard.
Oh, okay.
Like I've never had any first.
Was it the first gaming device to use disc?
No,
no,
Sega
Sega.
Saturn was
Okay.
actually.
I think Nintendo had one that flopped too. Apparently, one of the worst games of all time is this Zelda game that wasn't made by Nintendo. On
Really?
this
They licensed it
CDI
out?
thing. Yeah, they did for this one game, and it was a flop and a half.
This is why
Womp
Nintendo
womp.
should license Zelda games to either like Sony or Microsoft, so that somebody can do something like groundbreaking with that franchise. Just my opinion.
But they never
Just my
will,
opinion.
because why would they do that? Because then,
It's like one of their best things is the
It's
same way
like-
they wouldn't want to give, like, that's one of their key
Mario.
players,
Yeah,
you know,
like,
Mario.
it's like, I want to
DK,
play Mario.
Link.
Well, you better get a Nintendo product. It's
Yeah,
like-
exactly.
like, you can't even play it. Anyway, moving on to Syndicate.
Yeah, that's a first-person shooter, I believe. There's not a lot to say there. It's kind of wasn't one of my big favorites,
Like, not a lot to say. It's okay.
but it comes out this week.
Hey,
so give
don't
it a
pick
shot
that
if
up
you
if
like
you want to check it
first-person
out.
shooters.
First-person shooter.
Oh,
Holla.
if we want to talk another video game thing, or do
Yeah.
we have time?
Yeah, we got some time.
I always bring it back to the UFC and Star Wars. You know, you guys know the things I love. The new UFC game is actually really good, except for the submission system. They fricked that up. They fricked
Really?
it up big time. Yeah, it's not nearly as good as the old one. I don't even know. I don't even care to explain it. It's just not really worth your time. Like, I don't even know how you'd explain it.
Is
Really,
that a bad thing?
it's just garbage.
Oh.
Yeah, I think your timer made a noise.
Yeah, I
there.
think it made a bong when we got less than. Anyway, continue on the thing.
But yeah, that's all I was gonna say is the submission system is just bad news.
Okay.
And you have to try it for yourself to find out, but it is terrible.
Sweet. Okay, one last thing. I'm going to just wrap this around. Best and worst video game of all time.
that's so
We'll
tough.
go around the table. So, best and worst.
I can go if you don't have yours figured out yet.
Okay,
I can
go.
say mine. I think probably Ocarina of Time, Zelda game. Worst game? Ooh, this might be a hard one.
Hurry, we're running out of time.
This is tough.
It's on the clock.
I played a basketball game where Michael Jordan was a superhero. That was
Oh, I
it
know.
was about the worst one
Shaq
I've
Fu.
ever played.
Shaq Fu.
Oh, Shaq Fu was bad.
So bad.
Nice
Very
name.
bad.
Oh, we got like
Favorite
30
Jordy, do you
seconds
have a
left.
figure?
It's probably got to be one of the Halos.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Straight up Donkey Kong for me.
Ooh,
Best,
that's a
worst?
good
Where
one.
was that? Best,
Best.
for sure. You?
Kind of- well, obviously, The Sims 3. And let's see, worst one, Sim City. That was a horrible game. Anyway, let's wrap this up because we're literally out of time. That's all for our podcast this week. We'd love to hear your opinions about the topics we talked about today, so feel free to email us at deviewpodcast@gmail.com or post a comment. You can also find us at Twitter. Deview Podcast is simply at Deview Podcast. I'm at Curtis Parody.
I'm at jmerd117.
At Gage C. Fletcher.
Nothing yet as usual.
And don't forget to check out deviewpodcast.com. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll be back next week with another episode. Until then, have yourself a great day, night, or whatever it is, wherever you are, whenever you're listening to this. Bye, everyone.